is Karthik. I have been in real estate education for over 20 years, and I've helped thousands of students just like you pass the real estate exam. I wanted to do an update video on how to pass the real estate test this year because an update's needed for a bunch of reasons. Number one, we have a whole bunch of new students that are getting into the industry. So for you guys, welcome. It's a great career choice and you're gonna make a lot of money if you work hard and focus. It's a great, rewarding career where you can help people and make a ton of money at the same time. Real estate is one of those rare careers where you actually get a chance to do both. And for that reason, it can be a very, very rewarding career choice. The most important thing to remember about the real estate test is understanding what's on it for your particular state. So that's the first thing. You're gonna wanna understand what's on the test. The second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to a website like crashcourseonline.com to find a program that is tailored for real estate education and how to pass the test in your state. I'm an expert on the California real estate exam, and that Crash Course Online site is laser focused on specifically what's on the California license test. It's also important to understand how much time the state gives you for your exam. For example, in California, the state gives you 3 hours to take and pass the sales license exam. They give you 4 hours to take and pass the broker exam. So taking a bunch of practice tests is going to really help work on your timing just so that you're not rushed toward the end of the exam. You're going to want to take a bunch of practice tests to pace yourself, to understand where your strong points and weak points are, and ultimately to make sure that you're not rushing toward the end of the test and answering questions without really understanding what the state's asking. The other thing I would recommend doing is not cramming. Real estate exams are not something where you can just cram the night before and figure it out. You probably want to start studying at least a few weeks before your test and set up a strict study schedule. How many minutes each day are you going to spend preparing on the exam? How many practice questions are you going to do per day? How many mock tests are you going to do per day? How much time are you going to spend reading every day? So setting up a strict study schedule at least a couple of weeks before the test is going to help make sure that you're not cramming at the last minute. You also want to understand what to bring on the real estate test. Some states are not going to allow you to bring anything into the exam center. Pretty much every state's going to require your government issued ID that's valid and not expired. Every state's probably going to have their own parking requirements when you go take the test. So make sure that you scope out the exam location beforehand so that you understand where to park and where the exam site is. Also on the day of the exam, I would highly recommend that you get to the exam site at least 30 to 45 minutes before your scheduled test. Again, just so that you're not rushing to find the location and stressed out before you go take the test. Now, after the exam, you want to understand if the test is given on the computer. Some states will give you your results right then and there. Other states are going to require that you wait 24 to 72 hours after you take the test to get your results. So you really want to make sure that post-exam you take some time to decompress and relax and just know that you've done your very best on exam day. But the biggest thing that I can tell you to make sure that you pass the test the first time is, again, I want to reiterate, really is to set up a study schedule. You want to make sure that you're consistently studying a couple of weeks before the test and that you get a set of questions and answers like we have on crashcourseonline.com that closely simulate the exam for your state. You're going to want to make sure that you have time management down for the test. Make sure that you know a quarter through the test where you need to be in terms of number of minutes that have elapsed. You want to make sure that halfway through the test you have plenty of time left. And you want to make sure that before you hit end on the exam software, that you've gone through the questions that you might be unsure on, just to make sure that you've gone back and you haven't missed anything. And I'd love to know what you did to pass the test. And if you have any questions about concepts for the real estate test that you want me to go over, drop them below in the comments. I'd love to record a follow-up video on it, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Best of luck on your test, and I know you guys are going to do great in the real estate industry. It's a wonderful business to get into, and I want to wish you all the luck in the world. But the first step is to make sure that you pass the test the very first time, and I hope these study tips have helped you do just that. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.